house. Cops came out here. Told me I was just taking out the garbage. Where you been?
Shit, man, I've been taking care of these motherfuckers.
Oh, damn.
Young was coming in, and now you're backing out. It's hard to talk big with a shotgun in your mouth. I'm glad you brought your friends, they can watch it go down. I got mine too, so welcome to my house. 'Cause these are my people, and this is my land. This is what we pray for, and this is God's plan. And if you ain't from here, then you won't understand. This is my country, and this is who I am. So welcome to my house. So welcome to my house. You better believe it, 'cause today won't be your day. I can guarantee it, you should turn and walk away and get to leaving, or I'll let this 12 gauge do all my speaking. Don't push me on the edge, boy. 'Cause I'm aiming for your head, boy. And all I see is red, boy. I told you not.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Ultimate Dirt TV for the penultimate round. That is round number 5 of the CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Pro Qualifying Series. Tonight, we come to Wisconsin Speedway, Wisconsin, here at the virtual Cedar Lake Speedway. Good evening, race fans. Brett Wheeler with you for the call as we get set. Like I said, round number 5 of 6 next week, the final week for drivers to make it into the top 20 in the points to get their invitation into the iRacing World of Outlaws 410 Sprint Car Championship. Coming into tonight, Blake Giglio is your points leader, 1,127, all but locked himself into the pro qualifying. So it looks like probably our top 5 or 6 drivers should have a invitation, but we'll see how it all plays out. Kenny Miller is second in the point settings, just 1 point behind Blake Giglio with 1,126. JD Brown 1,114 in third. Timothy Smith, Clayton Tilley make up your top 5. Mason Hannigan, Ross Kaiser, Andrew Hoffler, Sean Timmerman, and Aidan Forster, your top 10 drivers. And you go back to, we'll go through the top 20 at this stage. It's John Helms 11th, Kenny Hoffman, Clayton Davies, Bryce Lucius, Sean English, Johnny Anderson, Paul Bryan, Eric Whitner, Landon Cardoza, and Landon Miller. We get set for qualifying on the program. Let's take a look at some drivers on the racetrack as we are ready for the first part of the qualifying session. Down the bottom left is the driver that we are going to be watching on the screen, and like we've seen throughout the course of the opening 4 weeks, Richie Preston is one of those drivers, a regular top split contender. It's 10.912, a 10.912 for Richie Preston. JD Brown with a 10.779. And the men up, Sim Racing. Total higher, car number 42. It is Paul Bryan. Fourth quick, 11.141. Will he go quicker? Yes, he does. 10.914. Here is Felix Roy in caliber 091. Felix Roy. He goes third quick with a 10.889. Jaden Anderson, fourth quick at the moment. Here is JD Brown, still circulating on the racetrack. Vinny Sansone gets a lap time in. Here comes Ryan Avila. You go back to last Thursday night, the Apex Auto Glass and Tinting 410 Wing Sprint Car Series from this very racetrack. He was starting in the 5th row of the main event. That's 9th or 10th position, and he came home to win it in convincing fashion. He'll be one to watch here in that 51 Esports. Speedshop51.com entry. Ryan Avila, 8th quick with an 11 flat. 11.000 on lap number 1. Lap number 2 for Ryan Avila. Where does it put him? Does he go towards the top of the speed charts? No, 11.028. Here comes Clayton Tilley on the racetrack. Clayton Tilley. Timothy Smith goes second quick with a 10.831. John Helms second quick with a 10.836. Where will Clayton Tilley sit on the speed charts? Fourth quick with a 10.859. And the 22 of James Starry coming out on the racetrack. JD Brown still there. Blake Giglio goes sixth quick. Here is Ethan Toda. Ethan Toda in car number 23T. 14th quick with a 10.969. Logan Herbert, car number 13. Which Herbert is this one? Is it Logan or is it the yellow boy? Can't even remember his name. I know there's 2 Herberts. Let's hope it's Logan. We know they account share sometimes. 22nd quick, 11.489. 11.489. Clayton Davies goes 9th quick. Herbert 14th quick with a 10.917. And that shall wrap up the qualifying session. Your official results here in the penultimate round of the series. JD Brown goes quick time. Kenny Miller, Tim Smith, John Helms, Clayton Tilley, your top 5. Blake Giglio, Nick Cooper, Blake Giglio, Felix Roy, Clayton Davies, and Tanner Pettit will make up your top 10 drivers. Heat number 1 will line up like this, and starting on the pole position in car number 14 for Slick Sim Sports, that is JD Brown, who is outside driving the TSM. Car number 86, Timothy Smith lines up at a position number 2. Position number 3, driving car number 51 for Momentum Sim Sports, it's Clayton Tilley. He's outside in driving the Low Drag Esports entry from position number 4, Blake Giglio. Rolling off at a position at number 5 in car number 50, it's Clayton Davies. He's outside from the 6th starting position. Jaden Anderson line up at a position number 6. Starting from position number 7, driving car number 42 for Men Up Sim Racing, it is Paul Bryan. He's outside. Piloting car number 80, it's Vinny Sansone out of position number 8. Position number 9, driving the Speedshop51.com 51 Esports, number 49, it's Ryan Avila. He's outside, starting from position number 10, driving the WFO, car number 11, it's Never Clear, Cody Nevin. And your 6th and final row inside, driving the Speed Shop 51, caliber 20 entry, that is Aiden Forster out of position number 11. And starting from the 12th starting position, piloting caliber 22 it looks like, I think it's a 13 in fact, it is going to be James Starry. That's a little too far. There we go. That's a little better. Heat number 1. Just trying to get a better... Oh, there we go. I hope all their paints are up to date. I thought Tim Smith had a different paint on. But anyhow, here we go. The Sprintcar Pro Qualifying Series, the CarQuest Auto Parts, powered by iRacing, top split. Heat race number 1. JD Brown, Timothy Smith, the leaders to drop of the green flag off turn number 4. We're racing here in the penultimate round of the series. Giglio to the outside on Clayton Tilley. There may have been a little contact down the back stretch, but JD Brown will lead lap number 1. Here comes Giglio. Works the top side of the racetrack. Meanwhile, Clayton Davies to the middle, 3 wide with Paul Bryan, who was working down low. Top 7 will make it straight into the main event tonight. Here comes Giglio all over the back of Clayton Davies. We work through turn number 1 and 2. 2 down, 6 to run. We'll make it 3 down and 5 to run. Ryan Avila is in that transfer position in car number 49. Tilly trying to come after your second place driver at the moment, Timothy Smith, in car number 86. Not going to happen. Instead of taking the numbers, we might as well put the interval just so you can see. Now let's put the gap. There we go. We'll go the gap. That'll make it a little bit better. That'll show you how close these drivers are or how big of a gap JD Brown has at the moment. 7/10 of a second. Now make it 8. Although Smith was good on there on the exit of turn number 2. Meanwhile, Clayton Davies fends off a challenge once again from Blake Giglio in car number 16. Little some action early on, but right now, JD Brown, like he's done so many times throughout the opening 4 weeks of the season, he's been fast in qualifying, fast in heat race. I'm pretty sure he's picked up 2 wins so far out of the 4 weeks into turn number 3 and 4. Final time, checkers are out. JD Brown will put it on pole with the main event. Timothy Smith home in second, Clayton Tilly third. Clayton Davies fourth. Then you go back to Blake Giglio rounding out your top 5. Paul Bryan, Ryan and Villa will come home in the top 7. Let's take a look at those official results for you on screen. Brown, Smith, Tilly, Davies, Giglio, your top 5. Bryan and Avila, your top 7. For Sansone, Forster, Starry, Nevin and Anderson, well, it's off to the consolation race for those drivers. Heat race number 2 again. Work through the heat races very quick. There'll be 2 heats, a consolation, no warm-up, straight into a 30-lap main event. So the show's generally over within about sort of 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how many yellows we see. Kenny Miller for Phantom Motorsports lines up on the pole position to the outside of the front row in the Helms Racing Incorporated. It's John Helms from position number 2. Rolling off out of position number 3 in car number 35, it's Nick Cooper into the outside, the 91. Felix Roy lines up out of position number 4. Tanner Pettit lines up at a position number 5, and Richie Preston for Elbows Up Simsports lines up at a position number 6. Logan Herbert out of 7, Ethan Toda for Team Victory Lane Racing, the 23T lining up at a position number 8. Position advantage, Joey Lingman and Mason Hannigan, the Little Hurricane for Black Diamond Motorsports, pilots car number 2 from position number 10. And Jacob Harlitz lines up from your 11th starting position. Hello, Senior Stewart. Hello, Mitch. Hello, Justin. How are we all, gentlemen? So if we go and look at the point standings, Blake Giglio ran in heat race number 1. So 4 out of the top 5 drivers were in heat race number 1. Kenny Miller, Mason Hannigan are in this one, along with, that's it, Aiden Forster was in heat race number 1, I believe. But here we go. Heat number 2, and it's going to be Kenny Miller. They get a good jump on the field. Last Wednesday night, the Next Level Racing Designs 360 Sprint Cars brought to you by Apex. It was John Helms who picked up the win. He'll look to transfer that form into the 410s here. Cooper runs in second. Helms. Cooper back to third, I should say. Helms up to position. Back up to position. Number 2, Toda. Herbert trying to come through the field. There is Pettit in that 24 machine. Works to the outside. Yeah, gets into the back of Felix Roy. Look at the Little Hurricane. Trying to whirl up a storm down on the low side. Richie Preston, Ethan Toda there, and Joey Lingman. Boy, oh boy, it is busy right now for the final transfer position. Hannigan stays to the middle of the racetrack. Herbert back around the outside. Herbert drives back down into Hannigan. Hannigan, they keep it going. Slider there from Roy on Pettit, but it's going to be Herbert and Hannigan side by side. One car into the wall. That is Richie Preston. Tough break for Preston. Oh, Herbert goes spinning on the grass on the infield. Oh, he's going to take out someone. Nice job, Herbert. You're doing well. You're just like your brother. Hello, Patsy. Pettit and Hannigan. Pettit tried the inside line in 1 and 2. Was unable to make it happen. Herbert was the slower car. Look out. And again, in the space of a lap and a half, Herbert's managed to take out nearly half the field. Ethan Toda goes on by to position number 4. Thankfully, the 4 drivers you see on screen, well, they're all going to make the show. Kenny Miller, he's been phenomenal here in heat race number 1. He opens up a 1.8 second victory over John Helms. Second, Helms, Cooper in third, Toda fourth, Roy fifth, Hannigan, Harbert. Your top 7, Pettit misses out, unfortunately. And again, your top 7 will go to the show directly. The rest of the drivers ain't done back. Well, they'll be going to the consolation race, which will come up right now. So Miller, Helms, Cooper, Toda, and Roy, your top 5. Hannigan and Harbert, your top 7. Pettit to the B along with Herbert, Preston, and Lindgren. There we go. That any better? Your B main lining up like this. Starting on the pole position in caliber 80, it's Vinny Sandstone to the outside of the front row. It's the 24 of Tanner Pettit lines up at a position number 2. Position number 3, it is Aiden Forster. To his outside, it's Herbert. James Starry rolls off at a position number 5, and Richie Preston will line up at a position number 6. Position number 7 for WFO. It's Cody Nevin in caliber 11. He's outside Joey Lindgren at a position number 8. And Jaden Anderson lines up at a position number 9. Well, Justin, there was only that one clown that ruined the race for probably nearly half the field. So, but then again, what do you expect from certain drivers who just don't know how to back off the gas? I mean, trying to ruin other people's chances. Well, Platsy, Cody Nevin, he's got a lot of work to do. He asked me earlier prior to signing up. He goes, "How do you think I'm going to go?" And I said to him one word. "Hello, Brad. Long time no see." I said one word to him. "Terrible." And he goes, "Yep." He goes, "I appreciate your honesty. That's what I'm all about." Consolation race. 10 laps on the board. Top 4 going to the show. Everybody else, well, it's time to pack it up for Charlotte next week. Green flag is out. Sandstone leads Pettit and Forster. Again, these two drivers been pretty consistent. Look out, we've got some wrecks, and not surprisingly Herbert somewhat involved in that one. Jaden Anderson holds on to the 4th and final transfer position. Cody Nevin stuck involved in that one. Sandstone leads with just 8 laps left to run. Pettit goes to the low side. Forster still working that outside groove. Again, goes up into the marbles. He'll cut back through the middle of the racetrack. Tries to use some French onion dip and tries to get underneath, but was unable to complete the pass. Getting your top 3 on screen from left to right. It's Vinny Sandstone in that orange number 80 machine. Tanner Pettit in car 24, followed by Aiden Forster in that 20 entry. Then you go back to Joey Lindgren, who's now having a battle with Jaden Anderson. Lindgren with a slide job. Anderson in that 41 machine. The complete parts and equipment solutions. 41 entry. Anderson back to the bottom side into 1 and 2. Looking for some moisture. Looking for some drivers. Lingering around the outside. Forster trying to close in on Tanner Pettit right now. Yes, Tom, I did. I'll say a lot of dip tonight because I dare say we might see quite a few slid bobs coming out. So battle on for the runner-up position for the minor placings and also for that final transfer position. Pettit and Forster still going wheel to wheel down the back straightaway. They'll come to 2 to run. Lindgren still holding and fending off that 4th and final transfer position to the 41 of Jaden Anderson. Anderson once again goes low. He makes a little mistake out of turn number 2. Again, that opens up the door. Here comes Lindgren. Thought he was going to get quite a big run and tag the back of the 24 of Tanner Pettit. Here comes the 41 of Anderson once again. Can he make it stick in 1 and 2? No, he can't. Vinny Sandstone will hold on for a consolation victory. Second will go to Aiden Forster. Third, Tanner Pettit and Joey Lindgren. Gonna get that 4th and final transfer position. Well, we have our field set in the consolation race. Vinny Sandstone, Aiden Forster, Tanner Pettit and Joey Lindgren, your top 4 drivers that will book themselves with a date with a 30-lap main event in the CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Pro Qualifying Series Top Split. Live right here on Ultimate Dirt TV, live across Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and on the rRacing Live broadcast feeds as well. Your main event from back to front for the 18 starters. Position number 18, it's Joey Lindgren. Position number 17, Tanner Pettit. Position number 16, it is Aiden Forster to the inside. Position number 15, your B-main winner of Vinny Sandstone. Position number 14, Jacob Harbert's. Position number 13, Ryan Avila. Position number 12, it's Mason Hannigan. Position number 11, Paul Bryan. Position number 10, it's Felix Roy to the inside. Position number 9, Blake Giglio. Position number 8, Ethan Toda. Position number 7, Clayton Davies. Position number 6, it is Nick Cooper. To the inside, position number 5, it's Clayton Tilley. Position number 4, it's John Helms. Position number 3, Timothy Smith. Your front row for tonight's 30-lap main event, Kenny Miller will start outside front row from position number 2. And JD Brown for Slick Simsworth lines up the 14 machine from your pole position. Like what we've done throughout the course of the season, a 6,500 strength of field for the A main. Oh, thank you, Braswell, for that too. Round number 5 of 6 of the CarQuest Auto Parts Sprintcar Pro Qualifying Series, powered by iRacing.com, Cedar Lake Speedway. It's time to get dirty for 30. Your main is underway with JD Brown leading the field down into turn number 1 and 2. Everybody jostling for positions. Tim Smith catches the tyres. Tim, they don't move. I can tell you, they will not move no matter how many times you hit them. And we are already under the yellow flag condition. It didn't take long. Let's have a look at what happened here. I believe it's going to be Mason Hannigan and Joey Lindgren. Hannigan in the 22. Oh, Toda and Brian come together. Hannigan goes around. Lindgren was just sort of checking up there. Unfortunately, the 22 entry, the Little Hurricane of Mason Hannigan for Black Diamond Motorsports, gets turned. Thankfully, still on the racetrack. You're going giggity on this one just because his name's cool. I'm gonna assume that's Blake Gigglet. Giggity, giggity. Alright, plus he's going Tilly for them. Feel free to let us know who you think's going to win this one. Track is not as slick as what it was on Thursday night with the Apex Auto Glass and 410 Auto Tinting 410 winged sprint car series. I think Avila will get a top 5. You know what? I think I might go Kenny Miller. Hello, Ross. Hello, Wreck-It Ross. How are you, buddy? Green flag is out, we're underway. Once again in the main event, caution laps will not count. Miller fends off the challenge from the 86 entry of Timothy Smith. John Helms got some company with Clayton Tilley behind him. Look out, Davies on the inside. Toda goes, in fact it's Cooper to the outside of the 35, so Tilley done well, as did John Helms. So 3 down as JD Brown continues to lead the way. Miller, you can see that 86 entry of Timothy Smith closing in on Miller for the runner-up position. Meanwhile, Clayton Davies looks down low, down into 1 and 2 on John Helms. Helms rails the cushion, as does Cooper. So it's the pair of Aussies running the bottom side, both Tilley and Davies. You remember, you go back to week number 1, Clayton Tilley ran runner-up to the 50th entry of Clayton Davies at Weed Sport. Tilley goes through the middle, looks to get a run. He backed out of it. Maybe just tried to play it safe. Is that 51 entry near? Meanwhile, Blake Giggler tried to make a move on Nick Cooper on the exit of turn number 4. 3 drivers nose to tail. They went right through the middle of the racetrack, just in front of them. Helms on the top side. Davies working down low. 7 down, 23 to go. Clayton Tilley has found something through the middle, and we're going to go 3 wide. Helms on the top, Tilley through the middle, Davies down low. Davies gets left behind, but again, it's all about consolidating a top 10 finish for Clayton Davies. Therefore, if he does that, he will more than likely get another invitation to the iRacing World of Outlaws Sprint Car World Championships. Back-to-back seasons looking for Tilley and Davies. We are yellow. Let's see who we've got here on the NLRA instant replay. Uh-oh. Clayton Davies, Nick Cooper, Ryan Avila, nowhere to go. So Giglio in the 16 on the low side. Oh, there is Nick Cooper getting right into the back of Clayton Davies. Avila nowhere to go on that one. Pettit, luckily, missing that one. And you see the 35 entry of Nick Cooper. Stopped, facing the wrong way. Gentlemen, I love to do this sometimes, but you can't park there, boys. Well, Whippy, Jenny Brown, he's looking good in the opening third of this race. Still got 20 to go once we go back to green. I believe on the following lap, lights are still flashing here on the racing.com official post track Platzi. You like that one? It was all just the press of a simple button. Kenny Miller, he'll need a good restart if he has any chance at trying to run down JD Brown. Timothy Smith, we know he's had some pace over the first 4 weeks of competition. So you look at Giglio, points leader, sitting 6th in this race. Kenny Miller in the runner-up position. JD Brown, your race leader, sitting 13 points. Timothy Smith, so your top 4 drivers. And then Clayton Tilley, so your top 5 in points are running inside the top 6 positions. The only person to break that up is John Helms, who sits 11th in the point standings. But don't discount out Helms. He knows how to get around the Cedar Lake Speedway, and that's going anti-clockwise. If you can't figure that one out, here comes Miller with a big run out of turn number 4. Stays to the cushion into turn number 1 and 2. You're about to have a challenge for the race lead. Kenny Miller and JD Brown side by side. Slider coming out from JD Brown. Miller stays 3/4 the way of the racetrack again. Opens up that inside lane for Timothy Smith in car number 86. But here comes Miller around the outside, and Kenny Miller to the race lead down into turn number 3. Slider attempt from JD Brown was not going to be clear, so he backed out of it. And JD Brown now caught on the bottom side of the racetrack. He goes out to the outside of Brown. Goes Tim Smith. Here comes John Helms. Tries the cutback line through the middle of the racetrack. And John Helms down with a run, looking to move up into position number 3. And now it's almost going to be your top 3 drivers run on the top side of the racetrack. Here comes Clayton Tilley on the top side into the concrete wall. Tilley, it doesn't move. Come on, buddy. Miller still your race leader at the half race distance. 15 down and 15 to go. Brown and Helms still side by side and wheel to wheel. Helms with a run out of turn number 4. Gee, I tell you what, Helms is good there on the exit of turn number 4. Oh, no, he's into the wall. Tilley back down and Tilley turns underneath him. Tilley now moves to position number 4 as he looks to set his sights on JD Brown. But up front, here comes Tim Smith. Smith goes topside into 3. Out of turn 4, he's through the middle of the racetrack, doing what Kenny Miller was doing as he made the pass on JD Brown. Now looks for the moisture out of turn number 2. Probably the wrong choice, but no harm in trying it. We've got 11 to run. Toner, lap car, now working the bottom side of the racetrack, missing the front wing. Miller and Brown. Miller, Smith, Brown, still your top 3. Again, here comes Tilley on the top side. Helms back there in fist, holding on. Good, but look at this battle right now. Blake Giglio, Felix Roy, Ryan Avila, Aiden Forster, plus 9 positions. Avila plus 6 now to the outside. They're a couple of seconds away from a top 5 finish at the moment. You still look at the gap. There's a battle between Brown and Tilley. Tilley to the outside on Brown. The right rear clips the wall. He gets a run on the outside, and JD Brown relegated back to 3rd. But for how long? Because Tilley, if he keeps making those mistakes, that again will open up the door for JD Brown to work back through the middle of the racetrack. 7 laps to go. You watch Forster moving through the middle of the racetrack. Here comes Felix Roy on the outside of the 91 machine. Into the back of the 20 entry of Aiden Forster. Tanner Pettit in the 24. Back there in position number 10. He started on the last row inside, the second last. 17th position. Look out, Felix Roy caught the wall. That puts Paul Bryan up into a top 10 right now. Here is your race leader, Kenny Miller, working his way through the lap cars. One car going to the infield. I think that was Joey Lindgren. Clayton Davies working the bottom side. He might have some damage in that 50 machine. Smith still runs in 2nd position. Tilley still in 3rd. So the top 5 have really spread themselves out here with just 3 laps left to run. Again, Davies just stays low, staying out of the leader's way. He knows that all he's got to do is just circulate, Get the most amount of points you can, even if it is running in 16th position. He is one step closer to that World Championship license here on iRacing in the pinnacle of esports. White flag is out, and Kenny Miller for what would be, I believe, a second time into turn number 3 and 4. For the second time in 5 weeks, Kenny Miller is going to go to victory lane here at the Cedar Lake Speedway. And boys, I called the winner once again. Kenny Miller will take victory here at Cedar Lake. Timothy Smith home in second. JD Brown will wrap up the podium. Then we go back to John Helms, Ryan Villa. There was problems for Tilley. Not sure what happened to Clayton Tilley. Let's take a look at your official results. Kenny Miller gets the job done over Timothy Smith. JD Brown wraps up your podium. John Helms in 4th. Ryan Villa make up your top 5. Ryan Villa plus 8 on the night. Blake Giglio home in 6th. 7th was your hard charger from 17th plus 10 positions as Tanner Pettit, along with Aiden Forster home in 8th. He started from position number 16. So well done to Aiden Forster as well, moving up 8 positions. Paul Bryan home in 9th. Mason Hannigan comes home with a top 10 finish. Outside the top 10, 11th on back. Nick Cooper in position number 11. Felix Roy in position number 12. Vinny Sansone 13th. Jacob Harvitz in 14th. 15th goes to Clayton Tilley. Clayton Davies in 16th. Ethan Toner 17th. And Joey Lindgren in position number 18. And it looks like a very quick night because we will not have our top 3. In fact, let's go back to the final lap. Let's see what happened to Clayton Tilley, because this was the white flag. So this is what happened. As Tilley was running in a podium position, sitting in 3rd, and looks like he's bent that car. And it just got a little tight, and well, upside down over the fence he goes, and well, probably a sore and sorry 51 entry, but unfortunately, sometimes that is just the way the cookie crumbles. But well done to Kenny Miller, who does go to victory lane, and that will wrap up round number 5 in the CarQuest Auto Parts Sprintcar Pro Qualifying Series, powered by iRacing.com. Next week, the final week at the dirt track at Charlotte. Who will take victory? Who will be the top 20 drivers to get their invitation to represent the top world iRacers in the sprint cars? As they contest, I believe it'll be a 10-week season. Not sure when that's going to start, but again, you can catch all that action live on dirtvision.com and live on the iRacing social media pages, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. I'll have it all covered. Certainly look forward to the Pro Series again. 35 drivers will get the invitations. 15 have already got themselves a re-invite from last season's Sprint Car World Championship. And these drivers, over the 5 weeks so far, we've got one more week, like I said, next week at the dirt track at Charlotte, to find out which 20 drivers will get their invitation. And you can all but sign, seal, and deliver Kenny Miller a World Championship license, who got the win here tonight. He was second in the points standings coming into tonight. Blake Giglio was your points leader by just 1 point. He finished in 6th, so you could all but side seal his World Championship license. JD Brown, Timothy Smith, Clayton Tilley will all but sign, seal, and deliver their World Championships. And I'm going to probably go down the far as Mason Hannigan 6th. Most likely Ross Kaiser as well. Andrew Hoffler and Shaw Timmerman, Aiden Forster, John Helms, those drivers, Kenny Hoffman, Clayton Davies. They're probably just one more good week away from putting their name into the iRacing World Championships for the 410 Wing Sprint Cars. That'll wrap us up here on Ultimate Dirt TV. Like I said, this generally takes about 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how many cautions we had. We only had a couple early on, and then it was all green flag and smooth racing from here on out. As you can see, the track was pretty slick from top to bottom, and that will wrap us up here on Ultimate Dirt TV. Again, a big thank you to, of course, CarQuest Auto Parts and iRacing.com for putting on this World Championship Pro Qualifying Series. Sprint Cars, final week, next week at the Dirt Track at Charlotte. Until then, on behalf of the team here at Ultimate Dirt TV and the management behind the scenes, I'm Brett Wheeler, signing off, saying good night. We'll see you next time.